G'day folks, welcome back to Tavern Keeper. Hope you guys are doing well. In the previous episode, we just opened our brand new tavern here in Halflington called the Blue Fox, and I'm just sort of spying on all of our workers there as they are resting for the night before starting a brand new big day tomorrow morning. Now, we're sitting on, I thought we were closer to 300 gold, but it's more like 255. I do need to get a kitchen in this episode, and I'm thinking of sort of replacing all of these rooms and converting them into the kitchen space. Although, we do want a way for customers to be able to move to this direction, so this is also going to be a bit of a tap room here as well, and I would probably say that there will be a stage here, and considering how much space I'm thinking of having for the tap room, I feel like we're definitely going to need a lot of staff. So yeah, maybe we might want to start thinking about occupying this area for the staff. So yeah, a lot to think about. Anyway, let's speed things up. And obviously I'm just waiting for these guys to wake up and start their day. And I would say we're going to do some of the renovation during the middle of the day this time around. And yeah, we sort of just want to make sure that we've got enough money for what we're trying to achieve. Although, yeah, I'm very happy with the way the tap room has turned out so far. We've got a lot of decorations, a lot more than...
I'm so sick of planned obsolescence hexes.
Oh no, okay. Yeah, this random chaos. Looks like it's broken a few things, but our guys are on top of it, so that's good. And money is still flowing. Okay, so this is probably a good time for us to do what we need to do. So, obviously, we do have a need for all of these things. So we're probably just going to shift things around and then shift them back when we do have the appropriate rooms. And this time around, you know, things are basically bigger and grander compared to what we had in the previous tavern, the Blue Dingo. So I would also like a much bigger kitchen if we can muster it. And I might shift this over to this side, and then we'll start sort of thinking about how customers are going to sort of flow through the area. So I would say this area here is going to be a tap room, which will eventually flow into that space over there. I don't mind keeping the walls, to be honest, so there could be like a hallway here. But yeah, let's try and focus on getting that kitchen in though. So let's swap that into the kitchen area, this one as well. And then I want to knock down some of these walls. And obviously we do need the kitchen window because, well, otherwise we're not really going to be able to serve our customers, right? So let's just make sure that we can actually fit that in. So it needs to be somewhere there. We could probably move it around, squash it a little bit somewhere in the corner, or, you know, we might need to sort of play around with it a little bit. And then I need to get that storeroom back in, right? So is this a big enough kitchen? Probably is for the time being. So we've still got 250 gold. Let's just continue putting a few things in the kitchen until we are satisfied with what we have. Yeah, actually the kitchen is looking a little small, isn't it? Unless we want to just do some grilling initially, which, you know, is probably something that we can get away with initially to get to, what, 1.5 or maybe 2 stars? I reckon maybe 2 stars is gonna need like a couple of dishes though, so... but let's start with that initially. Anything else I'm going to need in the kitchen? Cleaning gear. I've not really seen the cleaning gear in action, to be fair. But perhaps maybe it's something that we should play around with this time around. Soup pot. Should I get the soup pot in? Maybe I should. Yeah, let's do that. So we can squeeze things in. And yeah, the firefighting gear is just going to be here. It's sort of, yeah, a bit of a squash, isn't it? I'll need to sort of check on whether or not people have enough space to move around between the different rooms. And we're already running quite low on cash. So let's get the storeroom back in. So that's another 12. And I'll get all of this back where they need to be. So we can get another couple of pallets, so I could get more booze in. But I suppose maybe we're going to want to start thinking about the barrel racks very soon as well, just so that we can sort of squish a few more barrels in a tight space. And then, yeah, we want, obviously, some pantries, or sorry, larder shelves, rather. Bit of a squash, isn't it? I wonder why we can't sort of push things to the very corner. Why is that? Oh, hang on. It is possible. Yeah, okay, good. Which means I'd probably tuck these into the corners as well. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so now that should allow us to place a couple of the larder shelves instead of just the one. Alright, we are cutting it really fine for gold, aren't we? So let's just bank up a little bit of gold before we spend even more money. I do need to get my staff members back into some kind of accommodation. So I reckon I'll temporarily accommodate them here until we're able to bank up a little bit more. Okay, don't have 3 drinks, unfortunately, so I'm gonna need to work on that. Haven't really started ordering like the really good booze just yet, but once we bank up a lot of money, we should start looking into that. Ogrel with a pearl earring. I think this might be a user-generated item, because it says here created by Mizutera, which is not Greenheart Gaming, obviously, so yeah, interesting. So we could see a whole bunch of just user-generated content drop in, and we could, you know, play around with all of that. If they look appropriate. Oh, actually, people are sleeping, well, people are not sleeping properly. People are just standing. Should have been on top of that. Let's... well, try and get on top of it right now. So there we go. We don't need to spend on more beds or anything like that, so at least that's a benefit for us. And I'm just thinking here though, are people able to go out this way? Not very easily though. So we might need to make ourselves another door. I'll do like a door on the very corner here as well. That way people can get through pretty easily. But yeah, let's get these beds back in so people can actually have a good night's rest and people are not going to be upset at us. And now that we've sort of expanded, well, a little bit on the staff room, we could get another bed in, which means we have the space for at least one more staff member. I reckon we could, you know, even get 1 or 2 more beds. The only problem with what we're about to face soon is we will need a whole bunch of space for, you know, the work schedule and the locker room as well. Let's... Ooh, hang on. Yeah, people are not too happy about this. Let's make people go to bed, because we want them fully energized for tomorrow. Right, so we've got 200 gold. We could probably start getting some food and whatnot going. Alright, couple of ladder shelves. I could probably get a 3rd, or maybe even 4, if I really wanted to squeeze it in. Let's get food in. Do I wait for the merchant? The merchant's about to arrive in a couple of hours. But he doesn't always have the things that we want, right? So I think it's probably better for us to just start ordering some foods. So I'm probably going to start with some soups. And what we'll do is I'm not even going to worry about game hens, to be honest. Let's do farm hens. And let's do some spuds. I just need to make sure that we're not, you know, overspending here. And I do want instant delivery, so that's already 100. We're gonna need to pay our folks. Oh, actually, that's coming a little bit later, I think. So let's do some breakfast rolls. And I think I'll be pretty happy with that. Pretty sure I'll still be able to pay our staff. Hang on, let's take a look. Yeah, no payments coming up until after we close the next time. So we should be looking good. So as soon as all of our ingredients arrive, which is right now, we should be able to set up the soup pot. So let's create a meal. Mains, let's do morsel soup. Oh, we don't have water yet. My bad. Well, let's start with some grilled foods, because we can always grill the farm hens, and that was definitely something that I wanted to make anyway. So that'll be on the menu. And yeah, let's bank up a little bit of money because we're going to need to get some water going.
I heard there's a big bounty on one of our patrons. I'm gonna rat him out.
Okay. Not entirely sure which patron. Oh, okay, we just got 100 gold as a result of ratting out this patient. Sorry, not patient. I keep calling patrons patients. Yes. Well, that helps out a lot, really, because I do need a well. So let's get that in immediately. And yeah, I reckon we could do the well over here, away from the yuck over here. We could probably get a second outhouse if we really wanted to, but I do plan to eventually get, you know, an actual toilet in the building, because that's something that we didn't really play around with in the previous tavern. So we'll try to do that eventually. But yeah, just focusing on getting the kitchen up and running. Apple Schlams, Imperial Reds, and that's all of our money. Pretty much. I think we should be okay. We'll get some customers in, and then we should be looking decent. Oh, and I need to make sure that we get some water going. So manage the stock here. Let's make sure that we get a batch going at all times. Actually, should we be maybe adjusting this every single time? Like, do we always need fresh water? Probably not. We could probably just like... I'll see what happens if we just simply play around with it. But sometimes you kind of want things to happen automatically, right? So, morsel soup, fresh water, farm hens, and we get the spuds into this soup, and let's create that. And that should be now on the menu. So people should be pretty happy about that. Yeah, it looks like people can still walk through this area, which is good. Exactly what we want. Have meals ready to order. Yes, there we go. Oh, hang on, hang on. Do we not have the meals ready to order? We do. Perhaps maybe the soup is not ready, that's why. There we go. Alright, morsel soup is on the menu, boys. Alright. We do need to just bank up a little bit of money. So, yeah, let's do that first before we spend even more. And I should start serving some of the booze that we just got. So, I'm just going to quickly check on our stock levels here. So the morsel soup is already down to 7. People seem to really enjoy it, which means it might not be a bad idea to continue getting some of the ingredients that we need for it, right? So farm hens. Let's do a couple of batches of farm hens, and I think we should be okay to get a normal delivery here. Try not to spend too much money all at once. Alright, so let's take a look at requirements though. So we need to just simply serve 4 meals. Oh yeah, so the delivery in this place happens a little bit differently. So if you don't order things to be delivered express, these automaton things just show up at your door and just waltz in and deliver stuff back here. The first time I saw this, I thought, what the hell is going on? Like, something's attacking my tavern or whatever. And this thing literally just explodes and then leaves behind all of the stuff that we buy. So it's kind of a terrifying process, if you ask me. Anyway, it is what it is. Place is getting a little dirty, and I think I would like to hire one more person to hopefully help with the cleanliness. And perhaps maybe after hiring this person, we could just simply get our specializations going, so we can have our chef. So let's do that. And let's take a look at who we can hire. Preferably someone who's good at cleaning. Liam. This is kind of interesting. Fire architect. So when he lights a fire, it lasts twice as long. That's interesting. He's expensive though. Daily wage of 18. Dog's body. That's... I don't know. I don't know how I feel about dog's body being the main thing, because we don't need it all the time. I think all around, Liam's probably the best person. Or we can advertise, but then there's no guarantee we'll find someone decent. Yeah, let's hire Liam. And yeah, we can start thinking about who's going to do what job specifically. Let's get the work schedule in. We'll put it smack bang in the middle there, and then we do want a locker as well. So let's put the locker, yeah, I would say just here, near the corner. Storybook.
I don't...
Dak.
Hey, you. Are you the one who ratted out my brother?
Oh,
Muscled
no.
arms and broad shoulders crowd your vision. Slowly, your eye is drawn up towards a rough-hewn, scowling face. Scars, missing teeth. This must be about that bounty Hops collected. Seems like her claims of immortality are about to be tested, unless you take the hit for her. I know it was someone who worked in this tavern.
Yeah, so this is definitely a continuation of that, well, that snitching that our guide did. I wasn't expecting that. Yep, I guess it was me.
Yeah? That took some nerve. In fact, I have something for you, buddy. A massive arm raises. You flinch. A ham-hock fist releases a shower of gold coins on the counter. Little token of thanks. My brother was getting in over his head with the wrong people. If he can pay his dues and turn his life around, my pa will consider hiring him back on at the bakery. Sure would like to see my brother safe. Thanks again.
I was not expecting that. I guess that's why it's called Snitches Get Riches. So, anywho.
It actually have to be tiny. I adjust to the size of my container. I just like this little bottle.
50 gold. That's not too bad.
Aw, thanks for taking the heat for me. Also, you're welcome for getting you that tip. We're splitting that 2 ways, right?
Oh, do I lose 25? Okay, not exactly. Not exactly. Let's take a look. Apparently we might have a group of customers that we could potentially accept. Do we? Oh. It's ages away. As long as the tavern is open and they've got some drinks, which, you know, applies to us. Oh, let's come back to it. I don't have to accept it. Alright, so we only have 100 gold. That's a little bit worrying, to be honest. I kind of want to bank up a little bit of money before we go crazy on stuff. Alright, we are managing, although the dirt is building up. I could always close the tavern for a bit of a deep clean if I'm really worried. But now that we do have a bit of cash on us, let's go back to the tap room. Let's get some tables set up. So there's a few different types of tables, and I do want to go for some of these halfling tables, which look a little bit nicer. So yeah, these pipe tables don't look too bad. but I reckon these look a little bit better. The Green Heart Game ones, well, I mean, they're all Green Heart Game tables, but yeah, just the halfling tables that we are using other similar styles, right? So I think this is appropriate. Let's do... I think we can do one here, here. Actually, we're missing a seat on this one. We definitely want to be able to accommodate 4 people sitting at the table, otherwise there's no point. There we go. So I could probably fit like a couple more tables over here. I do want to like keep a clear path in front of the taps themselves though, if we can. But yeah, let's go with that because that was already a big spend. More gifties, I do like that. Let's, ooh, hang on, what is this? Travel info. Created by another user. This looks really cool though. I like it. It is decorative though, so it doesn't really serve much of a function other than maybe increasing the value of the room. And yeah, as we learnt from the previous tavern, I do need to keep an eye out on the room value.
Our food has earned a 1-star rating.
Are we running out of booze? We might be. So with 400, we could probably get booze delivered. So, Stumpfoot's Pride. Let's do that. But we probably do want to get some decent booze, and yeah, at the moment, Nomad's Nectar and Lost Oasis is pretty much the best swill, I guess, that we can find. And perhaps maybe this time around we'll also have some really, really good food options. So we can do either the trout or the haunch, but let's not jump ahead of ourselves. I feel like we need to expand the kitchen a little bit more before we even get there. So what do we need for 1.5 stars? Food category rated at 1.5. So our half star is reliant on just serving some more meals. Yeah, I mean, we can definitely get that. Shouldn't really be too much of an issue. 300 gold. So...
Have you checked the timeline recently?
It's probably just alluding to the fact that we've got a group wanting to come. Or perhaps maybe an increased need of something. Drinks. I can't remember what time our tavern closes. And whether or not we can accept this group. Let me just take a look at everyone's schedules here. So Liam only likes working 12 hours, so we can't really extend his work hours further, which is a bit annoying. We could specialize him into like being the janitor, for instance. Maybe janitor and dog's body wouldn't be too bad for him. Yeah, but it looks like our place is open till 9. So another thing I'm considering, because this is something that I haven't exactly played around with, but could we perhaps maybe open the tavern 24/7 by having a bunch of people working the day shift and a bunch of people working the night shift? Could be an idea. But I think that it's going to be quite a lot of effort, right? Like, we're probably going to need to bank up a lot of money before we even start doing that to, you know, make sure that we've got a bit of a buffer. Anyway, 9 o'clock is when we close, so I think we can accept that group, to be honest. Yeah, so they're arriving at 7, finishing at 8, which means I think we should be able to entertain these people. Halflington Post, Volume 3. Carrot sales through the roof. The hilltop gardening fad continues to grow as many families use the fertile soil above their burrows to grow tasty vegetables and seasonal fruits to bring to the market. The Farmers Guild urges caution when planting tubers and roots, however. It may be convenient to reach up and plunk your supper from your ceiling, but kitchen cave-ins are also on the rise. Right, I think we should get a second comfy chair. Let's see, do we want anything here? Sand scorches, maybe? Brown bread? Nah, I think we can skip that. Alright, let's continue decorating. So tap room, yeah, let's do additional comfy chair. And I think we can fit in like a hearth or something. It's a bit expensive, but... Oh, I need a little bit more space for the hearth. I keep forgetting. Let's do the potbelly stove initially. And let me take a look at what is going on here. No staff to handle tasks. Oh, okay, that's all disappeared immediately. So didn't seem like too much of a problem. I am almost feeling like we might need yet another staff member. Oh, there comes our delivery. Perfect. Perfect. Do we want to squeeze in more barrels? Might not be a bad idea. There's our half star. Very good. So we can now play around with accommodation, but let's not rush into it, shall we? We'll probably do accommodation once we're settled with how big the tap room is going to be. Okay, we've got the visiting groups. So, yeah, hopefully we can satisfy all of these people. Though it seems like we're having a bit of a problem here. A lot of people are waiting and leaving. Oh, okay, we didn't get that. Probably because maybe they arrived at 8 and then we sort of closed, or arrived at 7 and then closed. So maybe there was just simply not enough time. Alright, well, that was a bit of a hit, but that's okay. Let's get some more tables in. I'm thinking we could probably do a table right here. Actually, we could probably push it back this way, and then we can have maybe even another one right there. Yeah, I don't mind that setup actually, because now things are still a bit clear over this side. Maybe we could even push things that way a little bit. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a bad idea, because I think this is still accessible, right? Yeah, that looks good. Now, whether or not we'll be able to handle the amount of people coming in is a different story. Alright. Time for a bit of decorating, if you ask me. We haven't really been focusing on that for the episode, so let's take a look at what we can do. Banner drapery. Oh, time is still moving forward. Let's just be a bit careful because we could spend a while sort of looking at this stuff. Timber credenza. That looks pretty cool. I don't mind maybe placing something like this there. Maybe even, like, what about this? I think it fits. Yeah. We just need to be careful that we're not spending all of our money all at once. Barrel stacks. I do like the look of barrel stacks. Maybe in the hallway. How's a candle shelf so expensive? Like 248 gold. That seems a bit ridiculous. Must be some really nicely scented candles, maybe. Yeah, it is a bit empty out here. So I kind of want to decorate it with something. Furniture. Don't really have a lot of options for plants, do we? Just hay bales, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because we haven't played for a very long time, and perhaps maybe you will eventually get some plants through gifts. But it seems like a bit of a shame that you don't get any options for plants, like, immediately. Okay, not bad. Would love like some banners and stuff. Travel info. We could put some travel info over there if we really wanted to. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Just a big like info sort of thing doesn't feel right to me. Alright, so we've got some bigger pieces of furniture in. Let's speed things up, save a little bit of money. And now that we've got so many tables, I'm a little bit worried about the amount of customers that we might have to handle at any given point.
Our food has earned a 2-star rating.
Fantastic. Great. So now we do need to worry about having a few different things on the menu. We need a couple of side dishes, And we probably do need... Well, yeah, it does say there that we need 2 main meals, which we already do have with the skewers and the soup. But I would like to have like a few different options, really. Maybe 3 different pots of foods going. And skewers and obviously side dishes, including bread. So we definitely need a bigger kitchen. Let's just grab our star here. Poor sod. Alright. Are we low on booze? I think we are. And we don't have another merchant coming for a little while. So it might be time for us to start getting some decent booze. It's gonna be a little expensive. And then we'll have some other booze being delivered from here as well. Stumpfoot's Pride. Apple Schlams. And I think we should do express delivery here as well, because we could run out of drink, which won't be good. So that's our main source of income. We do have the letter from the Tavern Keepers Guild. I think it's the same letters that we've seen before. Yeah. A stipend of 200 gold. Fantastic. So, quite a few customers. People are getting a little impatient. Yeah, we are missing some opportunities here. So, I think we're gonna need someone else to come in and help. Let's see if we can squeeze in another bed. Maybe not. I wonder if that's because... I think maybe I can move this slightly. Like if I move that there, might be able to get another bed. Yeah, okay. So I can hire one more person. The question is, do we have anyone worth hiring? Do we care about someone who's like really good at chefing? I mean, we've already got one person who's good at chefing. Ugh. Let's advertise. Whoa, look at this person. And they're really cheap as well. They're a bit slow though. But they're really good at doing a whole bunch of stuff. So... Casey. Is there anyone who's not a slowpoke? Siamara. There's slowpoke if they become stressed, which we won't let that happen. They're really good at serving and really good at cleaning. I think we shall hire Shamara. And yeah, maybe she can become our dedicated waitress or waiter. And speaking of serving customers and stuff, I think we can expand the tap room a little bit more. So the idea that I had was this back side here of the tavern. This could be a nice enclosed dining space where people are sort of enjoying like more intimate meals, so to speak. So let's see if I can expand things. Yeah, let's do that. And then a bit more down there. I do still want the walls though. So let me get the walls back in. Because, yeah, the darts should still happen. We could potentially move the dartboard somewhere else. Like over here, for instance, in this little corner. Just that we're not disturbing like other patrons who want a little bit of peace and quiet. But let's get a door in here and then let's get like some seating going. So yeah, I kind of like this, the dinner for two tables, and I feel like this could be a dedicated like restaurant area, you know? Provided we can fit the tables in. Oh, that was so expensive though. Yeah, I forgot. These cost a lot of money, 224. So I only have a couple of those tables in there for the time being. And that's okay.
Should we get some stools in here? Benches? People sure love to sit while they wait.
Well, with the amount of tables that we have, perhaps maybe not a lot of people will need to wait. And they will just simply be sent to tables and be waited on, you would hope. So I think what would be a good idea is for customers to be able to enter through here as well. And maybe I could get rid of this door and maybe I won't need to like have customers sort of go through here, and maybe that way we won't need to move the dartboard. Potentially. Yeah, I think that might be a better solution rather than my initial thought of having two entrances. So since we've got a hallway going on here, perhaps maybe we could just simply make this section into a hallway as well. Oh, I haven't been paying attention to our food stocks. So, my bad. We better order all of our stuff then. Farm hens? Yeah, we need a batch of those. We need... we don't have any side dishes at all, do we? So let's get some breakfast rolls. And we need some spuds, just one batch of those. And I think we're looking decent here, so let's purchase all of that. And we probably do need the water to come in, right? Actually, we do have a batch of water coming in already. Alright. Let's speed things up, make sure that we've got enough money to continue building our little sort of intimate restaurant area. Round table. Very interesting. One more very expensive table. Yeah, just trying to make sure we get these tables in. Let's bank up maybe double this amount, and then we should be able to get one more table in. I don't know how many we need here, maybe 5? Or should I squeeze one in on this side? Perhaps. Yeah, I think it's kind of impossible to get a 5th. And that's okay. Which means we could probably play around with the arrangement a little bit. So I could probably like bring some of these away from the wall. Is that even something we should do? Maybe not. Maybe we do need all of these tables to be against the wall. I don't think there's enough space. Alright. Well, in that case, we probably just need to think about how to decorate the center of this space. So we'll have a think. Let's get some drinks in. Lost Oasis. People should start being very, very happy with the drinks. And yeah, our restaurant area is looking nice. Probably need some light in there. So let's do a chandelier. I think we could do with a couple of chandeliers here. Yeah, make it really bright. And then... I reckon we could also do... a hearth, potentially. Alright, we've got the Halflington Post, Volume 4. Let's take a look. Farm to Fork Initiative. The Farmers Guild is spreading the word about their new Farm to Fork initiative. We reached out to them for an explanation of the proposal. It's all in the name, they told us. Basically, we're recommending that everyone eats with 2 forks at once. We already tried it. It saves tons of time. Fair enough. Right, so...
When's the last time you got some fresh air? Just because I'm bottled up doesn't mean you have to be.
Let's see. Let's do the hearth. I know we're spending a little bit of money here, but pay is still tomorrow, so we probably can spend this money. Just don't want to block off our ability to serve people, but I think that should be okay. And yeah, we can get other decorations in here. I do quite like this little space that we've got going. The question is, what kind of decorations do we get in? Merchant has left. I could have maybe bought some stuff, but that's okay. We'll have stuff delivered instead. I just want to bank up a little bit of cash before we continue decorating. And things aren't looking too bad. There's specks of dirt and whatnot in various places. Not too much of a big problem. One thing that I could address, though, is perhaps maybe getting a welcome mat that is placed just around here. Which style are we using? I think it's the one without the text. But yeah, if we get something in right there, that might reduce the amount of dirt that comes in from that side. Yeah, we've got a lot of dirt happening in all the other rooms, obviously. But that's okay, customers are not going to see that. Almost running out of booze over here. Might need to replace that. Oh, this one first. Let's do apple schlam. And... yeah, we are still... are we still waiting on ingredients for morsel soup? We do have some game hen. Sorry, not game hen. Farm hen. Let's get some more. We do have some spuds in. Perhaps maybe we don't have a batch of 10. That's why. Let's try and get that in quickly. Yeah. Instant delivery. Well, not instant, but... there we go. So we should be making some more of that soup. Now that we've got a bit of cash to play around with, though, I think we should decorate the restaurant a little bit more. But I do also want to play around with rolls, so I think it's time for Codri to become a chef, utilize his skills, and everyone else can be a generalist that doesn't spend time in the kitchen. So we can focus on serving, cleaning, and doing other stuff. I think this should help with getting to all of our customers quickly. So, hopefully anyway. Right, decorating time. Let's see what we can do. Let's start with just general decorations here. So, I would like banners, but I suppose maybe I don't really have a lot of options for banners in the actual decorative menu. Let's do a feast painting. Can I change the size of this thing? Actually, can I change the size in the build mode? I may have asked this question before, but I don't think we can. Okay, that doesn't seem too bad to me. That size. Let's take a look at the other side. Banner drapery. So this looks quite nice, though it would be nice if we could change the colors a little bit. Like, is there a way that we could change the color? Maybe not. Does look nice though, doesn't it? So I'm a little bit confused if we should keep it or not. Let's do... I would like to say more paintings in here. So we had the big turkey painting. Well, the feast, rather. Stallions. Yeah, that's not bad. Then we can get other things in here as well. And what we could do is we could rearrange how they're all displayed. Or do we even need to, you know, shift them specifically? Maybe I could just simply space them out. And that might not look too bad to try and decorate this space. I reckon we can get rid of this one and just move the stallion over this side. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. And then... what else can we get in here? A china cabinet? I think this little nook over here is appropriate for that. Maybe we can get something else in here. And I am going to go into the decorative mode here and go into textiles because I reckon from here we should be able to get just some drapery and all that sort of stuff in. And obviously we can get our own colors in, so... They are sort of blocking the paintings though, aren't they? That's not really ideal. But I think we could do something about that, so we could... squash things a little bit, and then move it. Yeah, that looks decent, so I'll actually get rid of that. And then we should be able to just duplicate these. Move them across. Is there anything that we could put to sort of like denote some kind of a knot up here? Not quite. Maybe what we could do is we could place one of these down, but then we could simply reduce the size of this. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Maybe push it out that way a little bit, maybe rotate it, and we could do a duplicate, which we will then place there, and probably need to rotate it all the way around. Bring that forward a little bit, maybe rotate it slightly like that. Okay, that looks decent. And then we can do something similar there, rotate it around. Okay, looks pretty good. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but... I get the feeling if we do the same thing on this side, we might have an issue, so we might want to just, like, push that down a little bit. There. Maybe even further. There. That doesn't seem too bad. And then... yeah, I sort of just want to... like, copy all of this. I wonder if there's a way we can just simply copy all of this. No, not quite. So... I'm gonna see if I can just try to replicate what we've done on that one wall. And considering how much time we're spending on this, I reckon this'll probably be the last thing that we do this episode. I think we've achieved quite a bit this episode, to be fair, because we've gotten the kitchen running. We managed to get to 1.5 stars, which was definitely our goal. Is that in the right spot? We kind of want to make sure things are symmetrical, if we can. Okay, looking decent. Let's just get these things in. Whoops, that that looks pretty horrible. Let's maybe bring this across, and then we'll squash this. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to tell whether or not it's the right size, but I reckon maybe that size should be okay. And then just do a quick rotation here. And then let's do a duplicate. Move that across. Rotate that. Okay. Does that look alright? I think it does. I think it looks pretty nice. We could probably put a few more bits and pieces, like a few more paintings and stuff. I think there's definitely an opportunity to have things sitting on top of the hearth as well, to make the space look a little bit nicer. But let's not worry about that for now. I'm pretty happy with where things are sitting. In the next episode, just sort of thinking about what we need to do here, but the kitchen needs to be bigger, right? So we have a temporary kitchen at the moment serving basic stuff, but we want some fancy food coming in here, so I'm gonna need to expand the kitchen, perhaps maybe completely taking over the storeroom over there, and then yeah, I'm just sort of thinking about maybe what to do with the staff room. We might want to think about moving the staff room over here in the next episode as well. So I'm just hoping that if I expand the kitchen to this point, we will actually have enough space for all of the meals that we want to serve. Because, you know, I've got some pretty grand ambitions for the types of dishes that I'm thinking of dishing out. So, yeah, we'll have to hopefully make it work. If not, I think maybe we could potentially squeeze a little bit more out of the space. I'm just sort of thinking about this corridor space here and, you know, where customers and staff will be moving through. And maybe we can even bring the kitchen out this way if we really needed to. But anyway, that's the initial thought for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this series so far. If you have, drop a like down below. Definitely stay true. And I'll see you guys in the next one.